Well, it is the time of the program where I usually turn to Nebraska Extension ag climatologist and Market Journal chief meteorologist Al Dutcher. We are going to do so here in a moment, but first, Al has some news to share. Well, Al, I teed it up to have a special announcement to make today. You're retiring.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Take us back to the beginning. How long have you been doing Market Journal? Since the inception?
Since the inception, in fact, it was pre-inception of Market Journal. Dr. Kendricks started the program sort of as on a monthly basis, and back in those days we didn't have all the luxury of computer technology like we do now, so we started this with a camera sitting above the desk, and I would have my paper with my slides on it graphed out, and the camera would sit and look down at that as I had used my pointer, and then we would just kind of roll the paper. So technology's changed quite a bit and made life a lot easier over these last 20 years or plus that I've been here with Market Journal.
Well, let's let our viewers know what you're going to be up to in retirement. What's that going to look like? A little hunting, fishing, what else?
Yes, as some of the folks that have heard me talk and know that we do have a family orchard up there. When my dad passed away, I kind of took things over. It was pretty much an apple orchard. Over the years, those apple trees have come down and they've been replaced with stone fruits. So this spring, another 80 trees come in, well, 78, excuse me, so we'll bump it up 2. 78 more in the orchard, and that'll leave me with about another 12 that I wasn't able to get this year. So give me 190 trees. I think that's going to keep me busy for a while. And then, of course, we have some other fruits in the orchard, raspberries, strawberries, we'll be putting blueberries in. So I've got a lot of work ahead of me. I've had a lot of work ahead of me over the last 20 years trying to keep the orchard up. So now I can give it my full attention, and hopefully we'll start to develop some yields, because I'm going to tell folks that haven't heard me say this before. When you're in the fruit business, it's a lot rougher than being in the grain business. About 1 out of every 3 crops, you're just not going to get anything due to freezing conditions. So you better have some deep pockets, because I can tell you right now that I've had over 20 grand into this orchard and I still haven't only produced 1 profitable year.
Well, I can say this. We're going to miss you at Market Journal, but Nebraska agriculture is going to miss you. So thank you for all you've done for this show and broadly speaking, the industry.
Yes, and I thank everybody across the state for the attention they've given Market Journal. I hope that they continue to support Market Journal. There's a lot of good folks that have worked here and I've worked with over the past. And I'm hoping that somebody will come in and try to be the next Al Dutcher.
Big shoes to fill. We'll let Al get set because it is now time to take a look at the weather outlook with Al. So here for the final time, here is Al Dutcher with weather.
Well, thanks, Bryce. And before we get to what I want to get to the outlook for the next growing season, instead of just doing a weekly forecast, I want to bring you up to date to some extent on where we stand in terms of this recent precipitation event. Very significant snowfall across western Nebraska. Of course, we anticipated that with the blizzard conditions. Most of the co-op network that we've seen reporting so far have been in that 10 to 24 inch range across most of the Panhandle and northwestern Sandhills, and the totals dropped off pretty quickly as you got into the southeastern portion of the Sandhills in northeastern Nebraska. But farther south from there, not much in the way of snowfall, maybe some flurries and light accumulations. Most of it came in the form of rainfall. More importantly, as we go forward in time, and I know a lot of folks are wondering if we're going to see a white Christmas across the southern part of the state, there are 2 more waves that are going to be moving on the back side of this big cold pressure or high pressure system that's going to be moving down the middle of next week. So between the 20th and the 21st, looking at a wave coming down the back side of that, which would give us a chance for some accumulating snowfall across central and portions of eastern Nebraska. And then on the 24th, which would be Christmas Eve, another wave is expected to move down, at least right now, according to the models. And that should give us another chance for light accumulating snowfalls. We only need an inch to hit that magical white Christmas. It does appear that the mechanisms are in place for that. We'll wait to see whether or not the models stay consistent with those forecasts. But more importantly, as we go forward in time, the biggest issue we're dealing with is we're in the 3rd year of La Nina. And we're starting to see an erosion once again in the eastern equatorial Pacific. This is the time of the year when we start to see a weakening of La Nina going forward as we get toward the summer period. And if we look at this in a static picture, you will see that there is an erosion in the eastern equatorial Pacific off of the western coast of South America, And we're also seeing a warm pocket developing far south, just to the north of Antarctica. That will bring that warmer water up, and underneath of the current, we're finally starting to see this big blob of above normal temperatures in the below surface conditions, and that current is starting to move back toward the east, and it's now broken the midway point in the equatorial Pacific. Last year we had a lot of upwelling in this region here that basically block this movement. It doesn't appear that that's is in the cards right now, so it means that we're likely to see this rapidly move toward the surface as we go through the month of January, and then we'll start to see that spread westward, which would push this cold sea surface temperatures well to the west, which would signify the end of La Nina conditions. Now, more importantly, as we go forward in time, because we've seen this big oscillation in terms of our strong storms, I expect that to continue, and if we start to see a movement toward El Nino, we'll see a much stronger southern jet, which would juice up these storms in the spring. So watch out. We're looking for the magical 15-inch mark for those folks that have a spring planting delay issues, and if we don't get to 10 inches, then we do have a problem with drought across the state of Nebraska.